I encourage Governor Sheyi Makinde to be a representation of transformative leadership. Sheyi Makinde became the governor of Oyo State on 29 May 2019. He is a member of the People's Democratic Party. All right, the lines are open. Let's talk about the issues. We started with the sad story of the death of Richard Gbadebo. 08091551055. Sheyi Makinde has spoken with Modupe Oyetosho, a young farmer that was kidnapped in Lanlate. What do you think? You can call 08056998678. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Allah, my name. I'm calling from Ibadan.
All right, the ball is in your court.
Please, I just want to comment on the Gbadebo Richard case. I think the first thing that the government needs to do is to look into his regulatory body. I believe there are some people on the government payroll who are charged with the responsibility of visiting these companies to see that they operate with the best standards. And these people, most of the time, when they visit these companies, they go there, they collect money, and they write good reports. I think government should also, as government is trying to punish the company, government should also punish its own people that are working in these agencies, who go there, collect money, and wrote beautiful reports that the companies are doing well. And in actual fact, they are not doing anything. I think that should be the first step in the right direction. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling the radio station. On the front page of The Nation, Edo Malami directs IGP to provide security for 17 lawmakers. Hello, the lines are open. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. This is Akeju Shegun.
All right, Mr. Shegun.
The President of the University of Ibadan Students Union.
Oh, good to hear your voice.
Thank you very much. I would like to commend the program and what you have been doing. And actually, tracing from what happened to the lady, the case we are just speaking now, and also from Richard Gbadebo's case that was treated earlier, I'm quite dissatisfied with the response and the way the police are actually treating matters in Oyo State. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
Yes, and I'm personally involved in Richard Gbadebo's case. One incident happened last week. There were 4 people that were supposed to be arrested. 3 of them were with the deceased before he died, and one supervisor was not there. Unfortunately, it was just the supervisor and one other person that was arrested. So the other 2 persons that actually witnessed the deaths and what happened were not arrested until this week that the matter was moved to state CID. So it's kind of negligence on the part of the police. If they could respond quickly to issues like this, we'll be able to curtail things like this that would happen later. So we just need to tell our police to try as much as possible to be responsive and to also take matters seriously. This is a very, very serious matter.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling the radio station.
Thank you.
The lines are open. Sheyi Makinde has spoken to Modupe Oyetosho. What do you think? Richard Gbadebo is no more.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I'm Christopher. I'm calling from Ibadan. I want to, how do we reconcile the state of despair we live in with the optimism you expressed at the initial stage of your program today? Thank you so much.
All right. I'm always asked that question. How do I juxtapose my optimism with the sad state of affairs in Nigeria? I've answered and answered. And the answer remains that is the duty of the citizens to save themselves. I have decided to save myself. That is where my optimism comes from. What about you? You want to sit down there and moan? Yes, good morning.
Yeah, this is Akimbolu Shere.
Akimbolu Shere, good to hear your voice.
Yeah. Good to hear your voice too. I want to commensurate with the family of Richard and the female farmer. It's just a reality that we find ourselves in Nigeria for the past 5 years now. And I do not want to even, to be honest with you, Edmund, I'm not in any way optimistic about the spirit of life in Nigeria. Because we have the retired general as our president, and the spirit of killing is increasing day by day. Yesterday, I saw the transaction that Reno Mokri did for the Christians and some people that have been displaced by the killings. I have seen so many pictures. I have seen so many videos. The way people are being killed in the South Carolina, not once our president said anything about it. And the governor of the state is doing nothing. And we have been hearing so many things now that they are coming down south here. How do we want to cope with this? Well, you have said it, and I've been saying it before. Let everybody defend him or ourselves. Let everybody take, I do not take up arms, but let everybody know how to defend themselves. That's the only way forward. Thank you.
Thank you for calling the radio station, Akimbolu Shere. The lines are open. Remember, this program is being transmitted live on Splash FM fan page on Facebook. So are you watching me? And you can leave your comments on State Affairs page on Facebook. You can join the discussion on Instagram. Oluwashola Kayode says, what a country. What a tragic nation. Truly, this country is on the failing track. But we must not forget that in spite of these terrible challenges, you and me can still make the difference. Oluwashola Kayode is speaking my language. Laji Ibrahim Olayemi is saying, I can't and ever say that God bless Nigeria anymore. Because God already blessed us in this country. But we have not turned our blessings into good. Julius Freeman Orogun is saying, do we have a president? Killing of Southern Kaduna Christians by Fulani headsmen with arms, and he is silent. You know, at this point, it's not just the killing of Fulani by Fulani headsmen anymore in the Kaduna axis, if we must say. Those being killed are also fighting back. And it's escalating. Because the truth is that once a man knows that you are out to kill him, he will defend himself. So the killings in Kaduna is retaliatory, defensive, and offensive killings. The state, you see, once you begin to have killings like this, it simply means the state is losing control. So you now have non-state actors also trying to control territories. They move in with their arms, kill people, and the state cannot hold them. So the state is losing its authority. And when violence is like fire. It spreads. If you don't contain it, yes, different reports are coming. That Boko Haram is moving into the northwest, bandits are moving from northwest to the middle belt, from the middle belt to where? Southwest. You know what that means? Violence spreads. So sometimes when I hear people say, oh, the violence in Katsina, good for them. They are not Fulanis. They've been the one ruling this country. Now they are paying. I just laugh. Violence is fire. It spreads. If the bandits take over Katsina, you know what happens? People living in Katsina will run away. You will find them running down to Ibadan as refugees, and you will see them as beggars. As they also run, criminals will join them. Some of them will move with their AK-47 as they go, and they move to Ibadan, and violence spreads. Because violence is spreading, the man in Ibadan gets angry and says, no, I will defend myself. He gets his own gun. Say hello to the radio man. Do you have my Oyo app on your phone? Try the app and see. With my Oyo app, you contribute directly to governance in Oyo State by raising the stake, by advising government, and by also raising complaints. My Oyo app, you can find it on Google Play Store. You can find it on iOS. Once you open the app, you will find police, medical, fire. You can call the police. You can seek for medical attention using the app. You can report a problem or submit an advice on the app. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Akin is my name. I'm calling from Udon, anyway.
Akin, good to hear your voice.
Yeah, I just want to point out the implication of these things that are happening. For example, the kidnappers, the more they are out there without being apprehended, the more they carry on their activities, the more money they get, the more they become more established, the more money they have to buy weapons and all that. So that is the danger of it. And I want the government to understand this, that thing has to be done very fast. And we all have to do whatever we can do within our means and our power to make sure that this thing stops. So that's my take on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The development of Nigeria is a task that must be done. It will happen in our time. On my Oyo app, you will see a segment, No Government Actions. You want to know what Sheyi Makinde is up to? You click that. You just tap that section of the app. You want to see Amotekun updates? Go on my Oyo app. Remember, you can also use your browser to work on the app. You want to see citizens' reports, what citizens are Adewale says the condition of roads are getting find that message. Agencies of government. No government agenda. You want to monitor Sheyi Makinde's promises? We're already monitoring here. You can see a review of the campaign promises of Engineer Abiodun Oluseyi Makinde and how he's fulfilling them one after the other. So we are keeping track. If you go on the app, I'm on that spot now. We have promises made. For now, we've recorded 32 promises. Promises. It's your app, my app, our app, my or your app. Remember, it's your app. The lines are open. Richard Badibo is no more. Mudupe Oyetosho's boyfriend is dead.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, J.K. Olashupon.
Good morning, Edmund.
How are you today?
I'm good. And you?
I'm fine. Okay, this is not JK.
This is JK Olashipo.
Aha, good.
Thank you very much. You got it right.
All right.
And what I want to say concerning the pervasive insecurity in the Nigerian state is I think I will need to even go for the press and other people acting in concert in supporting of all this. Initially, you people at the press, you were skeptical at mentioning the tribe, the actual tribe that is affecting us, that is waging war against the state. Everybody is saying they're trying to cover, it's not Fulani, it's Fulani. I remember the case of that of Olupala in Akure, when the commissioner of police was arguing that it was not Fulani, when those people at the side actually said that they were Fulani people. But now, I think you have regained your friends. You are now mentioning them now. If you don't mention them, you don't shame them. You don't cover them. Is it because they are related to the president? If the tribe is giving us problem, let's tell them that they are the ones. Even if they have the good one, what are the good ones looking for? What are they looking to? Are they looking away? Are they correcting those people that is presenting them as if they are all bad people? They need to talk them to themselves. And then once you do that, then we continue to correct all these things that is happening to us. We know that there is a problem. And then when Mr. President decided it's not helping matters, he's waiting them from across Africa to come in. In spite of what, to come and do what.
All right, JK.
Thank you very much.
Because of the power of the social media, there are a lot of conspiracy theories. That's why sometimes we should also be very careful so that we don't define a group of people by the actions of a minority from that group. Oh, you see, the media also have what you call the social responsibility role. That the media is not coming to say Fulani is killing, Fulani is social responsibility. Do you want to build up hatred against the Fulani tribe? Is that what you want the media to do because of the actions of one or two criminals that are Fulanis? Have you not seen progressive Fulanis that are doing well, showing love around the world? Because of few criminals, we want to criminalize the whole of Fulani tribe? I disagree with that notion. And because of few criminals in Igbo land, you don't criminalize the Igbo people. And we tend to do that in Nigeria. Oh, because he's a Yoruba man, he's a 419 guy, then Yoruba people are 419 people. Don't classify me in that class. Judge me by my individual actions, not because I'm Yoruba, Igbo, or Fulani. They are criminals, and when they are caught, they will be dealt with. Simple. However, we must also accept that the question of tribe in Nigeria has become a complicated issue, and we need to find a way out. Hey, the radio man is on radio. Are you there? I'll be back after this break. Don't go away.
Dakanan kilo petening kom lo moham. Di petama.
State Affairs.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo.
Láti ọ̀dọ̀ natcom development and investment limited tí wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ pọ̀ pẹ̀lú entel, àwọn ni wọ́n ní nitel àti mtel tẹ́lẹ̀. Ẹnikẹ́ni tẹ́ bá rí ní àgbègbè yín tí ó bá fẹ́ ṣe gbogbo jàǹbá láti kó wa ní wáyà, fuse àti gbogbo ohun èlò irinṣẹ́ natcom, ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ kígbe olè lé wọn lórí, nítorí irú ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ ó yẹ kó fi mú ìta ẹnikẹ́ni tẹ́ ẹ bá kófìrí ní àgbègbè yín ẹ bá wa pe àwọn nọ́mbà wọ̀nyí 08044440777 tàbí 08044441981. ẹ ṣeun. Olùkéde iléeṣẹ́ Natcom Development and Investment Limited.
Fún obìnrin nípa obìnrin pẹ̀lú obìnrin. Coming soon to Splash 105.5 FM.
Hello, are you a media practitioner or you are aspiring to become one? A great opportunity to brush up your media practice knowledge and skills has emerged. Yes Media Academy is introducing communication and media courses designed just to meet your training needs. We also welcome media organizations to send their personnel for training at Yes Media Academy. Get trained by the experts in broadcasting, journalism, advertising, public relations, public speaking, and media management. At Yes Media Academy, we have communication and media scholars, media practitioners of long-standing experience, and media entrepreneurs as our trainers and resource persons. You will enjoy every moment with them and be better equipped for the job. Application form is now available at 10,000 Naira only. For more inquiries, call 0902 883 or contact Yes Media Academy on www.yselimited.com. Email yesmediaacademy1@gmail.com. You can come straight to Yemishonde Media House, Felele Express Bus Stop, Felele, Ibadan.
Òwúrọ̀ àkọ́tún ètò ní ìkànnì Splash FM 105.5 ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Monday sí ọjọ́ Sunday láàrin aago 5:30 ìdájí sí 6 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. pẹ̀lú wòlíì Ọlọ́run alààyè Apostle SMO Mustapha JP bàbá Àṣebíọba. Òwúrọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run wípé gbogbo ẹni tó bá wá mi ní kùtùkùtù wọ́n rí mi àǹfààní ní ìfún ọ láti ní ìbápàdé Ọlọ́run nínú ayé bàbá Àṣebíọba ní ìkànnì Splash FM 105.5 lójoojúmọ́ láti ọjọ́ Monday sí Sunday láago 5:30 ìdájí sí 6 fún wọn náà láti di aládùn Ọlọ́run nípasẹ̀ ìránṣẹ́. Ìwọ náà máa darapọ̀ lójoojúmọ́ láago 5:30 ìdájí 5:30 a.m. sí 6 ọgbọ̀n ìṣẹ́jú iṣẹ́ agbára látẹ́gùn pẹ̀lú Ọlọ́run nínú ayé bàbá Àṣebíọba. Apostle SMO Mustapha ìjọ Seed of Christ Golden Church International ló ṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ ẹ̀. Ìrì òwúrọ̀ lójoojúmọ́ ní ìkànnì ìrírí iṣẹ́ agbára tó ṣàrà ọ̀tọ̀ nígbà bẹ́ẹ̀.
Splash FM 105.5.
Stay tuned.
Here is
105.5.
Accessing the
105.4.
one station, all the hits.
105.5. Splash.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
Splash FM 105.5.
Told you about Willow. I don't know Willow from Adam. I knew him when I became a governor. He told me he's a heart specialist. He told me there's no hospital where he can do it. I said, you know what you're going to do? Give me the cost of all the equipment you need to do it. And I went to a mission hospital. By the time we calculated, everything came to almost $1 billion. I wrote the check and gave the mission. I said, listen, set it up. It's there, it's working. They haven't operated on me, but they're saving other people's lives. Why will I use that money? Why will I take that money to come and buy a house in Atlanta? Do I live in Atlanta? No. If I come to Atlanta, I pay for a hotel. It's more. Because I only want to sleep. Now people call me and pay for $2,000 to sleep. If anybody takes $2,000 from me, I will be awake, thinking they're stealing my money. Why will I sleep? need to sleep. But people come here, if see a man who has, I can understand Ben Bruce who has had money all the while. He can tell me the type of hotel he's sleeping. It doesn't matter to me the name of the hotel. All you want is to sleep. You're not going to buy the hotel. You're not the owner of the hotel. So don't tell me you're staying in a Word of Australia, you're staying in this. A hotel is a hotel. You only want to sleep and wake up in the morning. And people do it with other people's money, not with their own money. You cannot. And that is the waste you see in our place. And the other side of the plane, you won't get there. I've been flying all over the world. I don't need to. If I go to the airport, they upgrade me. Good luck. People charter plane to Abuja. Do you know to charter plane from Enugu, for example, to Abuja is $15,000. It costs you $20,000 in a piece. Same flight, 20,000 naira, and people will spend 6 million naira for it. And these are people who don't used to enter plane before we voted them in.
News, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
This is BBC Minute.
Let's start in Lebanon.
More than 60 people remain missing after that horrific explosion in Beirut on Tuesday. We're expecting a big march later as anger grows over the government's shortcomings there.
To India next, the digital flight data and voice recorders have been recovered from the wreckage of an Air India plane that crashed in Kerala on Friday. 18 people died and many more are in hospital.
A Nigerian-American basketball player has died after having a heart attack during training. 27-year-old Michael Ojo played the college game in the US before moving to Serbia to play professionally.
To the latest on the coronavirus, mandatory testing for travellers returning to Germany from high-risk countries has come into force. Those who refuse face a fine of up to
and be staged at various places around New York.
0859G, BBC Minute.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
Splash FM 105.5.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
Then why are you coming here that you are aware that you are a member of the NDDC and lots of contracts were awarded to you? You said I'm not aware. I'm telling you that bring up those things.
May I inform my honorable sister that is why we have to change
Honorable Minister, please. It's okay. That is okay. That is okay.
Let me explain.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Let me explain.
It's okay.
Now.
It's okay.
You must not allow the two children to attend the budget every
It's
year.
okay. Off your mic. It's okay. Off your mic, Honorable Minister.
Like me, I was a member like you. I did not know what was going on.
Honorable Minister.
Yes,
it's okay.
Yes, Chairman.
It's okay. You guys sit down. Sit down. Sit down. It's okay.
State Affairs.
Except for like they say it's up to 60, I don't know.
I'm 60 plus.
So you are near my age, but I'm at least 7 years. He was a senator, I was a senator. I'm a two-time minister, he isn't a two-time minister.
But he won all his elections very well.
No problem about that. Just like you won your own in Kogi State very well.
Yes.
And you are now the deputy governor and governor of Kogi State.
Mr. Minister, please respond.
I'm responding, my friend. If you yab me, I yab you 10 times.
I won.
I'm a Lagos boy. I'm a Lagos boy. You are just a small boy in Lagos. Look at this boy. Mushin boy is talking to a VI boy. I live in Victoria Island. Look at Mushy Boy from Kogio. You're Oborobo. Just go. I don't get time for you. Kilo share.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
Adam Osai, I noticed you were trying not to laugh. Why were you trying not to laugh?
So actually, it's interesting. I never heard this, even though I was I followed it minimally. So it was such a surprise. It was theatrical, wasn't it? It was pretty something you would expect to see in a Nollywood production. So to think that this kind of conversation is happening and at the expense of public funds, so it's almost like a tragic comedy. You want to laugh because, look, it's humorous. That conversation was ridiculous. It was very entertaining. But then, something hits you. You think of the consequences of that entire show, what's at stake, the roads, the hospitals, the schools. Then you just, you check yourself. So that's why I guess I struggled between laughter but to be honest, my instinct was to laugh because that was the most ridiculously absurd conversation coming from people in governance.
That last conversation was between Dr. Chris Ngige, Minister of Labor and Productivity, and a member of the House of Representatives there. That was a committee hearing. A committee hearing to oversight the Ministry of Labor. Benga Bambushe, good to have you on State Affairs.
It is always a pleasure to be here, Edmund. Good morning.
Doesn't Ngige impress you?
Well, I laughed because, these are the people, these are the politicians, the political players, the Nigerian people refer to as their heroes. But when you see somebody you call a hero being petty on a national stage, I think it goes on to confirm the saying that call no politician a hero until they have completed their political career. Because how do you begin to say you are a VI boy, and because of that, Mushin boy has no right to actually question you?
He was yabbing him.
Or bringing the matter, or bringing the fact that you are older. I think it's when you have lost the argument to begin to talk about being older than somebody. And we are talking about the Nigerian project. I think he didn't discharge or acquit himself creditably in that particular session with the National Assembly members.
No, that is Chris Ngige there, Minister 1. Akpabio is Minister 2. So let's listen to Akpabio.
Then why are you coming here that you are aware that you were a member of the NDDC and lots of contracts were awarded to you? You said I'm not aware. I'm telling you that. Bring up those names.
May I inform my honorable sister that is why we have to change the
Honorable Minister, please. It's okay. That is okay. That is okay.
But let me explain.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Let me explain.
It's okay.
Now.
It's okay.
You must not allow the two children to attend the budget every
It's
year.
okay. Off your mic. It's okay. Off your mic, Honorable Minister.
You are like me. I was a member like you. I did not know what was going on.
Honorable Minister.
Yes,
it's okay.
Yes, Chairman.
It's okay. You guys sit down. Sit down. It's okay.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Edem Osai is a lawyer. She's the founder, Mentors Assistance for Youth and Entrepreneurs Initiative, Mayan. You were in the United States not too long ago. You spent some time. What did you learn? Being an Obama fellowship fair. That Obama fellowship, what did it give to you?
So first of all, good morning to everyone listening. That experience was one of the most transformative experiences of my life. And I've gone for a couple of fellowships. I think in the context of where I come from and knowing, my origins and, being in this environment, beyond the degree program I was participating in, what it represented was what's possible. A world, and I know the U.S. right now is battling with its institutions and with governance and democracy, but I saw what's possible when a people and a society is committed to actually advancing. When leaders pay the real sacrifices, for national development, for creating a state that, is admired across the world. And I saw that democracy is not an automatic machine. It's not a button you press. It's a manual machine. Everybody has to work hard at it. And it's an ongoing project. It's not something that the founding fathers have sorted it out and so subsequent generations can go to sleep. Democracy is a constantly, it's a very complex manual machine. So there are many working parts, codependent, very interdependent, and everybody has to be doing their part. So when you compare that and contrast it with the country I come from, Nigeria, and you see that some people have gone to sleep thinking that, everything should just, the textbook version of democracy we were taught should just automatically happen, and it won't. And then also, it's a bit depressing as well as, create some ray of optimism. Because you see the entanglement. We're such a completely entangled society. Histories of, wrongful actions have created this very, very deficit system. So it's hard to, untangle this web. So it's so complicated. You don't know where to start. And cultures have formed. Cultures that are absolutely self-aggrandizing. Cultures that are, dog eat dog, because we've been raised in scarcity. Scarcity shapes attitudes. You don't think that, you believe that for you to win, the other has to lose. You don't think of the collective good, the public good. It's a notion that is so alien and far-fetched. So, against all of that, I sort of worry, about even if reforms happen, what's the gestation period? What's the time gestation for these things to, materialize for our children to benefit? But, these were just the general reflections that the experience taught me. But the end result is, or the end outcome of those reflections is, look, we all have to be doing our piece. You don't sit down in, whether you're in, labor, private sector, academia, whatever, and think that there's somebody somewhere who's going to work out this democracy.
When Nigerians look for a messiah, I see it in them. You hear somebody call a radio station and say, hey, by now I see all of you are just talking and talking, writing on social media. You should be on the street, but he's at home.
Well, you see, I think the challenge we are actually having in the country is the fact that we have projected our aspirations onto the other people, thinking that if we give them the opportunity of governing the affairs of the country, they would effect the much needed change that will change the fortunes of the country for the better. Only for those ones to get into office, and they continue this vicious cycle of incompetence, of corruption, of partisanship, and what have you. And then you change this set of people and you elect other people, and you continue to have this. Well, you see, the truth of the matter is, it does get boring because you begin to sound like a broken record. When you begin to pontificate on the challenges that have stunted the progress and development of the country for so long, and you have identified what you could do to actually make it better. But you just see that it looks like a labor of Sisyphus. The more effort you put in, the more result you don't get. So I think, but as Idem has said, it is a continuous process. Democracy is a work in progress. You don't have it at once. But I think it is the commitment and the sincerity of purpose of the political actors that have, more than any other reason, affected the growth of the country.
Let's look at Akpabio in that conversation. The committee chairman was saying, it's okay. It's okay. Perhaps he was saying enough is enough in Nigeria. Was that what he was saying, Edem?
I definitely think he was speaking, to protect his interests. I think that just purely analyzing that,
the interest of the institution,
that conversation suggests that the oversight he was carrying out was in the interest of those people in that who are there's an industry, there's a complex, there's an industry, there's a parallel economy that the National Assembly has created around oversight functions. There's money and transactions happening, and so naturally, where investments or transactions occur, there's protective measures or protective institutions or conventions that emerge to protect those interests, and that sounds like what he was doing. it suggests that, look, somebody needs to oversight the oversighter. Forgive that language. But the point is, everybody sitting at home needs to recognize that nobody was doing any oversight in their interests in that conversation. So maybe you need to set up community oversight, groups that call your reps to you directly, because that chairman of that committee, that it's okay. Following that statement, you may not know what's happening, but the chairman knows. Come on, I mean.
And Akpabio was saying, let me talk.
Exactly. He was not only saying it's okay. At the point, he had to tell him that he should off the mic. And what you have to understand is that I think Akpabio was trying to stir the hornet's nest. And the idea is that if he was allowed to actually give vent to his spleen, so many things will be revealed. And you have to understand, sections 88 and 89 actually confer the powers of oversight on the National Assembly. But time and again, we have seen that the members of this assembly, they have compromised themselves in such a way that they cannot even effectively discharge the responsibilities of their office. Now, if you have somebody who used to be a part of the institution, now trying to say over half of the contracts coming out of the NDDC were being given to the members of the National Assembly. And if Akpabio was not actually stopped in his stride, he could also be bold enough to begin to mention names. And I think that would have made a complete nonsense of what they were doing. And that was why he had to tell him that it is okay. Of course, we are not saying Akpabio himself is a saint, but the point is, it was like dragging what do you call it, a red cloth before a bull. You will stare them. And I think that was what actually happened.
Let's listen to a former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Atahiru Jega, delivering a lecture and taking on the National Assembly.
Regrettably, many of the chief executives that I have spoken with, and I know only a few, have terrible stories to tell, particularly about the issue of bribe giving and bribe taking when members of the National Assembly pursue so-called committee work and oversight responsibilities. This is well known. Everybody knows it. It's being said, but nothing seems to be done about it. And I wonder what is happening to the intelligence and investigative responsibilities of our security and policing agencies. Some chairmen of committees in the National Assembly have become notorious on this issue of recklessly, with impunity, demanding for bribes. I'm back in the university system. I have heard stories from many vice chancellors about the horrors that they go through on questions of budget and so-called oversight. I am not saying that chief executives are saints, but all we are saying is that we must cast the searchlight so that Nigerians, and particularly public office holders, should have basic common decency and integrity in the ways in which they discharge their responsibilities. Because that's the only way we can make progress in this country.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
Fúlberry. Nípa obìnrin. Pẹ̀lú obìnrin.
International Pharmaceuticals PLC, they do NCP, now the protection we every home need.
a fully furnished, nice and comfortable hostel accommodation in University of Ibadan? Or a place for seminars and executive trainings at the same venue? You do not have to worry. Adebayo Akonde Hall suits your lodging needs and provides you a home away from home. Adebayo Akonde Hall is a 4-star hostel built in a serene environment with constant supply of electricity. It has fully furnished rooms that gives you great comfort at an affordable price. Adebayo Akonde Hall is located at Ajibode Extension, University of Ibadan. To make reservations, visit www.adebayohall.com or call the numbers 0805 699 8718, 0805 699 8719, 0805 699 8720. Adebayo Akonde Hall. Built for comfort. Built for you.
Don't dare touch that dial. It's Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station.
Here we go.
State of
Daganan kilo bejanin kom lo moham. Di bejamaso sanalom. Muasa benge kaputo.
State Affairs.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo.
Bushe, a legal practitioner, is on State Affairs. Edamanda is also here. She is a lawyer. She is also the founder, Mentors Assistance for Youth and Entrepreneurs Initiative Mayan. Benga, let's look at this, an issue that disturbs me so.
Well, and for a very good reason, Edmund. I actually overheard you the other time when you were making the point that if a particular tribe commits a particular crime, it should not just be limited to that person that is a Fulani man. What we should just say he has committed a crime and he should be made to face the music. I agree. But you see, the challenge with the Fulanis is that they do not only commit these offenses sometimes, but the arrogance, the overweening attitude when it is done is what is appalling. I cite you an instance. You would know that I run a law firm in the Shein, Anokegun area of Oyo State. And in that area, there is a preponderance of Fulani men. And of course, we also have farmers there. And so this challenge of their cattle in that area. And of course, the authorities at that particular place, they have devised a means of actually resolving the issues without having any problem, you know, trying to sit down and ash out how they could be of assistance to one another. Maybe the Fulani herdsman whose cattle has destroyed a particular farmer's land will pay, and they would share the, they would share the differences between themselves. But there was one particular experience I had, which was and how he would write the appropriate authorities to ensure the needful is done, makes you to begin to wonder why some of these Fulanis carry on a messianic complex in their attitudes. So while I agree with you that we all have our shortcomings as individual members of this country, but there is a But when you now have your leaders coming and saying that you have done nothing, and they will ensure that you are not made to get the deserved retribution, it leaves much to desire.
Adam, what do you think?
So, I mean, of course, any observer of, affairs in the country knows that there's this, sudden, tensions between General Fulani and the larger public. I grew up in the University of Ibadan, where Fulanis, would come in, or the cattle, the rearers would come in to graze with their cows on, our different vegetations. It was just part and parcel of growing up. So, a world that we live in now, where when that happens, we suddenly, feel very angry and tense about it, means that something went wrong. One, that economy seems to be, the actors playing in that cattle economy seem to belong to a certain tribe. That therefore, already casts an identity. It creates that identity, there's a signifier that this business is run by this particular set of people. If there are actions that are offensive to the public carried out, naturally, you're going to attach those actions to a tribal leaning. Now, where there seems to be some conspiracies, hidden, subtle, to protect people belonging to that economy from facing the consequences of their actions, the public have a legitimate basis to cry out. So yes, you can single out individuals within a tribe and say the actions of one shouldn't be, reflect largely or broadly on the actions of the majority. But this is different. This is an economic situation. And of course, there are many drivers affecting this. Now that, climate change and its impact is occurring, their cattle corridors have shifted. They are now grazing in farmlands. The country needs to sit down again and revisit those conversations about legitimate cattle corridors. The country needs to sit down again and put new parameters for people operating in the cattle grazing business. And this is where we've struggled with the whole, ranch bill, whatever bill, and all of that. But these pockets of, eruptions or disruption will continue until this is a bigger structural problem. It's not something about, we are seeing the manifestations in community level, but there's a bigger situation. The country needs to sit down and look. If these people are violating the T&Cs around how they operate the business, you can't also go into the farmer's own land and destroy his harvest. Then naturally, there's a tension between two separate economies. The country needs to revisit that because there's GDP being earned by both cattle and farming to the nation's purse.
It is committed with impunity. We have a governor. I have spoken to friends in Southern Kaduna of exactly what is happening. And what they were saying is that they have Fulani herdsmen coming into their towns to actually take over their lands. And of course, it is only natural if they resist. But you see, man does not forgive and he does not forget that if something happens, it is pensionable. If they do not actually inflict that, President also came here during the regime of or administration of Alhaji Lamadeshino, when he said, he personalized the whole struggle between the Yorubas and the Fulani, that why are you treating my people? They are on a mission, and that is why the Nigerian people have seen them to be a threat to the collective peace and harmony of the country.
But even in this discussion, being killed in large numbers in the Mabila Plateau. But it seems nobody is talking about that.
Shift in balance of power. And then when you move across locations, the imbalance of powers again. If any identity group seems to enjoy specific advantages or privileges in a nation that are not equally distributed to other people belonging to a separate identity, it comes to this discussion of, Fulani infractions against farmers and whatever. That's where the challenge is. Whoever comes in and wants to, correct that and give the public that confidence that, everybody will be treated equally, needs to address that.
But if you also look at the
Northwest, you have Southerners also stealing from Southerners here. So I think that one can, as you have said, there is no way you'll be living in a multi-dimensional country like ours or community that you will not have frictions, that you will not have conflict. And of course, and that is where a government should bring into bear the superior force of arms that they have got. So if what is happening, is happening in the north of Fulani is killing Fulani is strictly banditry, is strictly criminality, and one would expect the governors of that area to actually come in to do the needful. But when you have Fulanis going from their own part of the country to other parts of the country trying to take what does not belong to them,
just put it at killings. Why is that when it comes to Fulani killing Yoruba, we shout, but when Fulani kills Fulani, we are okay?
Because when they kill, especially when it involves other tribes, they make you understand that it is for a purpose.
Don't you see what they are doing in Katsina? They are even collecting ransom.
The economic, not so.
So why are we not looking at it from that angle that it's economic here too? Not just because it's a Fulani.
I think the danger with that...
When it involves other tribes, it's about empire building. And that is what will not actually...
They are also taking over land. Castle rustling in Zamfara, conquering territories. Boko Haram conquering territories in Baga. Why are we giving them different definitions of the same action?
Because different motives are involved. When you talk about them stealing cattle, rustling cattle and all, it is purely economic. It's about feathering their own nest.
Nigerian.
He is.
But when we say other country, okay, Edem.
He's a Nigerian.
I mean, I like the fact that you're teasing out all these issues, but I different facets. So, for instance, in Katsina, if it's like Oyo State, there are gangs that operate in and begin to affect my whatever money flows, whether around the business of selling cattle or whatever. That it's subset of a territory, it's possible those are the tensions. But the minute it's coming out into a different state, governed by a different, you see, the governance has changed. So, and then it's a different economy. Now, the driving force of the economy in Katsina is very different from the driving force of the economy in Oyo State. If I have tensions between a full with the main dominant trade here, then I have to see who is pushing what interests. So that's where you have to then begin to look at the cultural dimensions of the conflict, the historical dimensions of the conflict, the, federal government finds itself more aligned with a certain actor because of culture and tribe, then there will be, so
a national security issue. tribes, and the Fulani is on the table for dissection here. In 98678 and 07. Facebook. And remember to also go on my own. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. All right, JK. Hello. All right, sorry about that. I have a book here. I recommend this book to you. Project Nigeria, Building the Country of Our Dreams. Project Nigeria, Building the Country of Our Dreams. Let's look at this together. It's the ethnic question. And the ethnic question bothers me. Perhaps it has to do with my makeup, how I was born. You know, in fact, it was until recently that I got my first Igbo friend. In fact, Ibadan is home. This one is coming from the Vanguard. The Vanguard says, following the call Dr. Kwesile if Southeast does not produce the president of the country, to Yaradua, they said the Hausa man and the Fulani man will be happy. The Niger Delta said no.
People, especially given the experience they underwent during the Civil War. They will really need to look inward, become introspective, and party are supported by their own people. So they have as a people